You might think that you've seen pathetic before. I can assure you that not until you see what Elon Musk just posted about Bernie Sanders and AOC have you truly experienced pathetic. So to set the stage, Bernie and AOC have been drawing record crowds on their Stop Oligarchy tour. Take a look at this video from their latest rally in Denver, where a staggering 34,000 people showed up. In fact, Bernie is drawing bigger crowds now than when he ran for president, and bigger crowds than Trump drew when he held rallies in the same venues. And given the fact that these rallies have focused on stopping oligarchy, as the name of the tour aptly suggests, it would lend itself to reason that one person who would find this especially insulting would be the Republican Party's darling oligarch himself, Elon Musk. Now comes the fun part. Elon is so desperate to try and discredit this grassroots movement that this is the tweet he decided to throw his lot in with and amplify. That massive Bernie Sanders and AOC rally in Denver, turns out it wasn't as grassroots as advertised. Despite claims of 34,000 attendees, GPS data analysis reveals that the real number was closer to 20,000, still big, but not record-breaking. More revealing, a whopping 84% of those devices had shown up at 9 or more other protests, including Antifa, BLM events, pro-Hamas, and pro-Palestinian demonstrations, and Kamala Harris campaign stops. Over 30% had attended 20 or more. Data analysts say the crowd was anything but organic. The majority were tied to activist networks like Disruption Project, Indivisible, Democratic Socialists of America, Rise and Resist, and Troublemakers, all reportedly funded by Act Blue and some receiving backing via USAID. Optics over authenticity, the playbook hasn't changed, just the targets. Source, Zero Hedge, Tony Saruga. And Elon quote tweeted this and wrote, "The Dems just move around the same group of paid protesters." Okay, how do I say this delicately? Do you know how fucking stupid you have to be to believe a single word of that tweet? First of all, who's analyzing this GPS data from devices? Does some random right-winger have access to all of Verizon and AT&T and T-Mobile and every other cell carrier's data? And did they also compile all of this data from previous events? And do they really think that there are not enough people in somewhere like Denver, Colorado to show up for Bernie Sanders and AOC? I mean, my God, the mental gymnastics here would be impressive if they weren't so stupid. Also, I almost missed that it's apparently also funded by USAID, because on this list of buzzwords, why not just include USAID? And apparently Doge forgot to release that as part of their autopsy. Apparently there are millions of dollars still available, even post-Doge, for Democrats to whisk tens of thousands of paid protesters across the entire United States, even after they took an axe to the agency. Please, someone, make it make sense. But truly, the dumbest part has got to be Elon Musk agreeing with all of this. This guy is so desperate to explain away a movement against him that he's literally trying to make paid protesters being whisked across the United States happen. If Musk had one scintilla of evidence that these crowds are just throngs of Act Blue and USAID-funded paid protesters that are going from one rally to the next, I will quit politics today and join a monastery in Indonesia. Honestly, let me know, because that is how certain I am that Elon Musk and his sources are full of shit. The reality is that Musk's desperate flailing is a testament to the fact that he has no leg to stand on here. He is an aggressively unpopular billionaire whose sole focus is dismantling agencies that were investigating him and eliminating programs that Americans rely on to survive, like Medicaid and food stamps and cancer research and education funding and jobs for veterans and so much more. Musk doesn't care about regular people because he is the farthest thing from a regular person. His priority, as it always has been, is consolidating more wealth for himself. He does not care about you. He cares about him, his power, his influence, his companies, and his wallet. That's all. And to that end, here's Bernie and AOC making the exact points that Musk is currently trying to undermine.
Now, I don't care if you're a conservative Republican or a progressive. Does anybody think it makes sense that we have a campaign finance system where one man, Musk, can put $270 million to get Trump elected, and then his reward is that he becomes the most powerful person in government? That is not democracy, that is oligarchy. But it's not just Republicans. You got billionaire Democrats who are telling candidates, don't stand up for the working class. So we've got a corrupt campaign finance system. We got to get rid of this terrible Citizens United Supreme Court decisions.
Because Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security were promises that we as a people have made to each other about the kind of country we are and the kind of society we want to live in. And I don't know about you, Arizona, but I want to live in an America that guarantees health care to every person. I want to live in an America that has a living wage for every person. I want to live in America where you have free speech to express yourself and not be afraid of getting put on a list or deported. But these promises that we've made, they are not promises from politicians to the people, or they're not charity from billionaires to everyday Americans. They are promises we have made to each other. Neighbor to neighbor, friend to friend, teacher to student, family member to family member. That we want to live in a society that is not depraved, not every person for themselves, but all of us standing together. This is the promise that we make to each other as Americans.
And so it would make sense that this is the type of enthusiasm that Musk is trying to undermine, because their message, a message that's clearly resonating and drawing more people in March of an off year than you would even see in October of an election year, is that exactly what Musk is doing right now is what is most unpopular in this country. He wants to be the shadow president, he wants to act with impunity, he wants to upend the lives of hundreds of millions of Americans, all with zero accountability. But he's forgetting that, at least for now, this is still a democracy. And he's about to face the only force that truly has the power to curb his own, and that is the American electorate. His efforts to pretend that it's not real are only going to awaken people even more. Before you go, first, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we're now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they're willing to cater to this White House. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a great way for me to be able to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's completely free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support my work. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.